I stole the art styles of some of my favorite artists because I wanted to see if I could, and if I could maybe learn something to make my own art style look even better. This challenge was insanely more difficult than I thought it would be, but don't worry, I'll explain that later on. So here's how it works. I took one of my favorite drawings in my own style and redrew it in my top 3 favorite artists' art styles. First up, we have LavenderTowne. She has a really cartoony and memorable style, which I love. You can usually spot people using, or in my case, stealing her art style by the larger eyes with pupils in different shapes. They could be words, squiggles, cartoony symbols, really just anything. She uses semi-sketchy black line art, and the proportions of her characters usually consist of a very large head and a very skinny neck and barely any indication of a nose, which I find very hard to pull off because I've only ever drawn faces with noses. Like, that's how I learned. Then with the rendering, she definitely does not render nearly as much as I do, but she usually uses soft gradients to show blush and faint shadows. Then for the darker shadows, she usually goes in with cell shading, and surprisingly she doesn't use too many highlights, which I had not realized before because I thought that was like a main thing you were supposed to do with drawing, but she really only uses them in the hair or the eyes, and I actually really like how that looks. So for this style, I did not find it too difficult to replicate or steal because first of all, I've used it before, and unlike the next few styles, LavenderTowne style only really relies on the line art and actual forms and proportions of the character, which is actually nice because I don't need to learn an entire new style of rendering. I started with this one because I knew I wasn't going to seriously crash out while doing it, and I really think the hardest part was just figuring out how to draw the nose, which took me like at most 2 minutes, so it wasn't really difficult to steal at all. I really like how she uses the sketchy line art in different shapes for the pupils, so I might need to incorporate that into my own drawings, and here's the finished result. I really like it. She looks so cutesy in that style. I think LavenderTowne style was a success, and you'd think I would say that about all of these drawings, but do not worry, I won't. So with that, we are done with the chill part of the video, the cartoony style, the nice simple rendering. Because this next one, before going into it, I thought it was going to be the freaking death of me because it is Samdoesarts art style. Trust me, I think it looks amazing, but it's like too amazing. Like, his style is basically just big eyes, really good rendering, and somehow making all of his characters like look really cute. And I'm not saying that LavenderTowne, like, she can't do that stuff because I'm sure she's actually great at it, but his style is so freaking detailed, it might as well just be realism. Like, I have a non-realistic style for a reason. It's because I don't really know how to render. I just do whatever I think looks nice in the Frankenstein order that I somehow taught myself over the year and a half that I've been doing digital art. But guess what? Although I initially thought that this style was going to be my freaking arch nemesis by the end of the video, I was wrong. It was actually not too terrible to adapt to. All I really needed to do was not add as much liner as I normally do, make the anatomy actually look realistic, make her eyes a bit bigger, make her lips a bit bigger, turn the face to the side a bit because I think that's what Sam would have done, and then just give her nose an actual form instead of the 3 lines that I normally do, and also figure out how to actually render. That's it. Like, not much at all, right? But all of these things combined didn't give me too much trouble. I actually had no clue what to do for the hair because, well, I know he's done it before, but I've never really seen him draw like curly fluffy hair in his style, so I really just had to guess with that and pretty much just rendered the same way that I normally would. But in the end, it didn't look too out of place, so I was good with it. If I were to pick the one thing that made the most difference and really made it look closer to his style, I would say that it's the fact that I gave her a semi-realistic nose, and I really think the nose actually looks good. Does that mean I can draw noses now? That's insane. But because of that, I started looking back at some of my other drawings in my style, and I noticed that all the noses look literally the exact same. So maybe I should eventually start making the noses in my style a bit more realistic, somehow like give them a variety or something, but that's really the most that I learned from this that I can incorporate to my own style. I do like how the drawing turned out though. I think it at least sort of looks like Sam's style, not exactly like it of course, because I just have not yet reached that level of digital artist, but it's the best I can do at the moment, so we are all good. But this next one, oh my goodness, we are not all good. So as you may have seen in a recent video of mine, I really love the art style of Bluebiscuits. She's a very talented artist. Now, since she does not have a super realistic style, like per se Samdoesarts, I thought that it would be easier to replicate. I thought that I would be in the clear. I thought that I was prepared. I was excited to try it out and see my OC in her style. But oh my goodness, I did not expect what was about to happen. But before we get into all of that, let me tell you about her style. As I said before, it's more on the cartoonish side, very painterly. The colors in all of her drawings are actually freaking immaculate, which might might be a reason why I struggled so much, because I have no clue where to even begin with color theory. And then her characters kind of have the anime facial structure and anatomy for their noses, at least, and her rendering style is just so good. Like, I don't even know where to start. Bro, correction, I did not know where to start. Like, it became a reality. Now, to my stealing efforts, pretty much I was crashing out the entire time I was drawing it. It's not that I didn't want to do it, it's that everything looks so cohesive in her style that I had no clue how to differentiate, like, the steps to actually make it, because all I see is the finished piece. It's just confusing, bro. She could honestly have a video where she shows people how to draw in her style. Like, I should probably look that up, but I didn't do too much research, so I forced myself to do it without it, and I was staring at my iPad for a very long time, but I forced myself to start and keep going and not crash out 7 million times, although I did crash out a little under 7 million times. But the thing is, I think I did do the anatomy correct in her style, at least, and the sketch and the line art, they give me a good vibe for her style, except for the eyes. I have no clue how to fix those, but the real problems only came up when it was time to render. At first, I thought that maybe she just used the trick where instead of only changing the saturation and brightness of the color, you also change the hue to make the colors like look better. So that's what I did, but it didn't look right, so I just did whatever I could to somewhat match the references, but I still don't think it came out too right, except for the hair. Not terribly mad at the hair, but everything else was just looking bad. So I thought, it's a trust the process thing. It has to be. So I moved on to the highlights, which, keep in mind, I rendered the entire thing on one clipping mask on top of the base color, so no blending modes were used in this drawing, which may have been a bad move. Again, I have no clue, but this is what I ended up with. If you really look at it, you can see the attempt that I made to try and match her style, but the attempt was not good enough, so it looks like this. It wouldn't be awful if it was something I made with like no direction or goal, but since I had a goal and failed it, I don't like the drawing. But I did learn at least one thing from this experience, and it is to learn color theory. Yes, I know. All in all, stealing these artist styles was really just my way of doing an art study and trying to learn something new in the process, and I at least did learn a few new things to try out with my own style to make like line art more fun with sketchier lines, and I could add like cool eyes and pupils to convey emotions. I could even try to develop a better style of nose because I think that would just look cool. And finally, I need to learn color theory, bro. Like, I know I've said it probably 50 times on this channel, but I need to lock in. But anyways, time for the amazing outro. So we do a few things here. First, if you have no clue what to draw this week, instead of a challenge, I have a little exercise for you. Yeah, you need to learn some stuff, I know. So in order to develop your style, I want you to try and draw this bat in your style. And don't worry, I already did this a while back before I even knew what my style was. And turns out the way I stylized this freaking bat really resembles how I stylize my characters today. Like, connection, that's insane. I actually find that kind of cool. So if you do this, be sure to tag me or post it in my community because I would absolutely love to see it. Then our reminder to not use AI. Got it. Good. Now a writing update because I'm writing a book if you have no clue about that. So I'm editing chapter 31 and am at 59,000 words. So now if you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more. And I'm sure you will love the video on the screen right now. So I will see you there, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.